So there's many ways you can actually make money from properties without actually buying them. And I know for those of you who've been subscribed to the channel for quite some time now, may be familiar with a couple of my videos, such as this deal sourcing one and this rent to rent one, which are two ways that are actually quite popular and can be useful for beginners, or at least that's what property trainers get you to do. But for today's video, I want to discuss something slightly more complex that can actually help you massively should you decide to ever utilize it. And what I want to discuss today is known as assisted sales, as you've probably seen from the title. Now, assisted sales will definitely be great for people looking to renovate properties or flip them, if that's your strategy, because you can also use this as a side-by-side strategy. But unlike flipping properties, an assisted sale has many advantages, which I'm going to discuss in a moment. But first, let's quickly understand it. Let's understand what an assisted sale is. Basically speaking, an assisted sale is when you help a vendor sell their house for a larger sum and split that surplus of profit between yourselves and them, however you wish to do so. For example, if there's a house on the market for £100,000 and you're pretty certain that with around £15,000 of renovation, it could achieve £150,000. So if you were going to go and flip this, i.e. purchase it, spend the £15,000 and then sell it in the back end, let's assume the following costs. The purchase price would be £100,000, and as of now, Q1 in 2021, you may get away with stamp duty. So let's ignore that for this example. Then the £15,000 of renovation that you'll need to do in order to uplift this property. Let's say £1,000 for legals as well. Now, assuming you are then able to sell this, and let's just assume legals and estate agent fees coming around £2,500, you are now all in for £118,500. Now, this will give you roughly a profit of circa 33,150 quid. Not too bad, eh? But I know what you're thinking. Where and who has £116,000 lying around ready to flip properties like this? Just bear with me, we're getting there. And although you could bridge this by using say 25% or even using an investor to finance it, you would then be subject to, I don't know, £10,000 of interest, which would eat into your profit. So basically giving you around £23,000. Plus you would also have to wait a minimum of 1 to 2 months to buy it, 6 to 9 months to renovate and then sell it. So to actually get that sum, even if you did everything very, very quickly, would roughly give you around, let's say £23,000 profit in about 9 to 12 months. Still not too bad. Now, flipping can be done quicker. I fully accept that. But I'm speaking to the newbies here because there's a few things you need to be mindful of. Some lenders want a house owned for a minimum of 6 months. So your buyers may then have difficulties buying that within that time frame. So that's something to consider. And don't worry, I haven't forgot this video is about how to make money off a property without actually buying it. We're getting there. And this is where assisted sales is an awesome strategy, because what you could do with this exact deal is approach the vendor and offer to pay for the refurb. Should they agree and you get your negotiation on point, you are then able to do the renovation in, let's just say, 2 months. You could then, with the vendor, achieve that £150,000. Now remember, you've only paid £15,000 plus probably around £2,000 to draw this up legally and professionally. So you are actually all in for £17,000. Now, the profit split on this is pretty simple. £150,000 minus your £17,000, which you're going to want back, minus £100,000 they initially wanted, equals £33,000. Now with this £33,000, it's up to yourselves to negotiate what the split will be with the vendor. And this will come down to the actual motives to sell and how quickly they want it sold. And let's just say, for argument's sake, you gave them 33% of the profit. You would now walk away with £22,000 of profit by only putting in £17,000. Now, yes, I know that's £1,000 less than the first example, and I probably should have drawn out a better example. But if you look at it on the whole perspective and know that time is money, I think we're onto a winner here. You've got £22,000 profit as opposed to £23,000 profit. And we then know you can also get this done and sold a lot quicker as well, because you would have done the renovation in about 2 months, which was the initial time just to buy it, and then you put it straight on the market. And also you're only requiring to put in £17,000 up front, as opposed to the £118,500. And like I always say, time is money, especially if you want to take this game seriously. So it's definitely something to consider. But also I want you to remember something. I want you to make sure that if you ever do this and approach a vendor, that you do this professionally and legally. Because the last thing you want is that person getting you to renovate the house and then deciding they don't want to sell it. Or secondly, they may just simply not split the profit with you. Now, I know what you're also thinking. You're thinking, well, where the hell do I find these houses? I'm going to help you with that as well. Well, a lot of these could be found, i.e. when you're just looking for your general flips. So look in the same places and always see if that vendor is at least open to the idea of assisted sales, because you're going to be looking for the same sort of profit margins, only this time you can probably earn a little bit more. But finding these types of vendors can literally be done via guerrilla marketing tactics. Let me know if you want a video on that in the future, or simply via estate agents or direct to vendors, people you know, people you meet in networking events, or just going around and knocking on doors. And I can see you thinking of another question now. Why wouldn't they do it themselves? Or at least that was one of the first things I thought about when I first learned about assisted sales. One, they may have simply inherited the property and just marketed it at the price, not realizing the actual potential this property could get them. Could they do it themselves? Absolutely. But just because they've inherited a property, you're then assuming they would then be ready to spend £15,000 to £20,000 to fix this up. And they know how to renovate properties. Even myself, I made so many mistakes when I first started. It's only now my renovation skills in terms of getting the most bang for my buck is much better. A second reason could be, it could be from someone who just doesn't have the budget maybe to complete the renovation. I found properties many times that have been half renovated and you found the builder or the vendor has literally run out of money, or circumstances may have changed where they need to relocate or sell very quickly. This is where you can help them. You can fill that gap. You can renovate it and then split the profits and give them more than they would have initially got. Now, a third example, just to help you even more, another one could be simply the aging population. I can't imagine my gran ever wanting to renovate her property before she sells it, especially when she chooses to downsize one day. Now, of course, she has me to look after her, and I'll make sure I get the best price for her. But let's just say she didn't have somebody like me who could easily offer her another £10,000 if she was willing to wait for another 2 months. I'm pretty certain she's going to say yes. But before I close this video on assisted sales, this can also be done without renovations too. There are many ways you can assist a vendor to selling their property to make it a win-win situation. For example, an individual may not be aware they can obtain planning on a bungalow perhaps to create another story that could give you more profit. Or they may have land on the side of their house that has so much more potential to increase the overall GDV of the plot we're speaking about. So you could literally help them pay for all those fees, and when that planning uplift is accepted, you can then split the profit, and that is going to cost you a lot less than probably £15,000. Or, and I've just thought of another one, and this is probably the final one for now, you can simply help them with an extension or a loft conversion. If you notice maybe the houses around that area are going for more because they already have those, and if that individual isn't aware of this, you can literally say, look, I'm going to get you more money if you work with me. And that's the key, you want to work with them. So that's all I actually had for today's video. I hope you found this useful. Again, I've got quite a few of these coming out. Let me know in the comments below as well, and make sure you check out the archives of the types of videos as well, because I will be bringing some back to life as I'm now seeing the channel grow, which I'm very, very grateful for. And hopefully I'll be back on site as well in a few weeks once we get out of this lockdown mess, where I can start showing you the development journey of how to build houses. It's going to be a learning experience for myself, but also for you guys as well. I'm going to massively try and give you as much value, answer as many questions as you have, so you haven't got to go and pay for that sort of stuff, and you can use that money for yourselves. And now it's a favorite part of the show, as I keep getting told. Oh, by the way, on that, a lot of you are telling me that you enjoy the videos or you found it very, very useful. Let me know in the comments down below. Not for my ego, but just to get the comment section going. There's a lot of people who may need the answers to some of the questions you guys are asking me as well. So ask it down below if, of course, you feel comfortable with it, so I can get back to you to maybe help other people as well. And of course, as always, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for spending a few moments with me today. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button. And here are today's bloopers. Well, here's a few reasons. One, they may have inherited, basically giving you around 23 that. So if there's did everything pretty quickly. So to actually get that sum, even if you now don't worry, I haven't forgot this video is so that's something to how and then and I'll get the best bang for